Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is September 9th, and right now we're looking at the mid-level water vapor loop, and you can clearly see this trough digging out over the Gulf of Alaska and the Pacific Ocean here. Look at the ridge. You can see the shape of it here all the way up into British Columbia. Nice few days coming up here before some clouds and some precipitation try to make its way towards Pacific Northwest. We'll take a look at that in some detail coming up in a moment. And if you want a nice affordable home weather station to record all this crazy weather we get, click on that link down below to save 10% off. Check this out. So the GFS actually northwest of Vancouver Island has a moderate atmospheric river up there. Kind of typical this time of year. The storm track usually pointed north here as we go through September. Eventually that will change and start to include the Pacific Northwest, but just kind of an interesting look at things here. You can see not much of any signal here down across some of Washington or Oregon. Now we're looking at SeaTac yesterday, 75 degrees, 1 degree above average, no precipitation. Hopefully we can squeeze a little bit out as the system rolls through at the end of the weekend here on in through early next week. No promises just yet. We'll take a look at those details in a moment. Thunderstorm activity across Idaho and Montana, not expected for Spokane or Pendleton today. And tomorrow, something similar there. Might include Missoula and Butte, Montana, and off to the east. Here we go, total precipitation on the NAM 3KM. If we put this into motion, you can see the system slowly creeping its way towards Pacific Northwest, weakening as it does so, and probably spreading some clouds as we start to go in through Sunday night across the region. Might squeeze out some precip across the higher terrain here, and maybe a little bit across some of western Washington, maybe some of western Oregon here, but you can see it's not much. Better amounts across some of Vancouver Island and through British Columbia. We'll look at the GFS next. It gives us a better view of things off to the northwest here as well. This is the 12Z, hot off the presses. Put it into motion. Here goes our system rolling towards the coastline there. And you can see kind of the storm track pointed off to the north here, getting Haida Gwaii, southeast Alaska, some of western BC. Not showing too much here for Washington, Oregon, a little bit for the higher terrain of southwest BC, maybe the coastal areas of British Columbia getting a bit of rain out of this here as well. But you can see we're now up over 100 hours out there. So not a big precipitation maker here for Washington or Oregon with this next system. And taking a look at the European, let's go ahead and look at yesterday afternoons. You see that big ridge all the way up into BC here that we saw in the mid-level water vapor loop. The system tries to swing by. We get a little bit more seasonable here, but then we start to build a ridge as we go through the week, maybe kind of a transient one, or will it build up here? It looks like another kind of a repeat here as we go towards next weekend. So we might have two nice warm weekends here in a row across Pacific Northwest. Yeah, that would be kind of interesting. Go out a little bit further off into Fantasyland. Look at the ridge that the European wants to build out here in the 10, 11, 12-day period there. And no promises with that. We'll continue to watch this as we go on in through the following days. GFS, last night's run. There goes our ridge. Trough tries to swing through, a little bit seasonable through midweek. Then we start to build that ridge here. And look at the GFS dig that trough down up over the Gulf of Alaska and allow that next ridge to build for next weekend as well. So confidence starting to increase on a nice weekend coming up next week. So yeah, we'll be watching for that one. And the GFS kind of wants to hang some ridging around the Pacific Northwest here. And then a big trough out here again across the Gulf of Alaska, way off into Fantasyland. Always something interesting to look at here on the GFS if you scroll out far enough. Here we go for Seattle later this Saturday, Sunday. Nice warm day out there. Get out and enjoy that. And look at this. We might repeat it again next weekend as well, and kind of seasonable temperatures on the other side of these little mini heat waves here for the weekend. This is Spokane. Nice warm temperatures here on the weekends as well. And this is Seattle, Tacoma. So check it out. We actually uptrended a little bit in the European as of last night, but still not showing much. I mean, you're talking about 400ths of an inch maybe here. I feel we'll be lucky to squeeze out 400ths of an inch with this system. This is Hoquiam, a little bit better the coastline, but not much again. I mean, you're talking less than a tenth of an inch generally. But look at towards Juneau, up towards southeast Alaska here. Look at that precipitation signal as we go on through the week. It's typical for this time of year. The storm track starts getting pointed at southeast Alaska. This is Bella Campbell Island Airport there. This is north of Vancouver Island along the west coast of BC. And you can see not bad precipitation amounts. These are in millimeters here. So once you get to 25, that's 1 centimeter, which is about 0.4 inches of rainfall. And here we go with the winds, maybe some blustery conditions as that system rolls by here. This is in kilometers per hour, not miles per hour here. So maybe some 40-mile-per-hour gusts rolling through with that system. And this is where Bella is located. You can see Vancouver Island, Seattle Metro, Vancouver. And that's where it would be located right here off to the south and east from Haida Gwaii. Now looking at the daily max 2-meter temperature, again, a nice warm day across the region today and tomorrow, and then the cool down as some clouds start to spread over the areas we get towards Monday, and the trough tries to bring the temperatures down, especially across BC. You'll feel that across some of the higher terrain here as well. And then you can see some seasonable temperatures, then the bounce back as we go towards next weekend again. We'll be watching that as we go through the next few days, like I said. Seattle Tacoma Fantasy Windstorm Hunt. You can actually see a couple 40-mile-per-hour gusts showing up here, maybe some upper 30s, but it's way out from fantasy land. No strong signal as of yet, purely just a novelty at this point. Here we go with the extended European model here. So this goes all the way out into October. They run this thing daily. The last night's run hasn't updated yet, but this is just a novelty again, kind of fantasy forecast. You can see the storm track kind of pointed north of Vancouver Island generally there, and look at how it just kind of bullseyes southeast Alaska and the west coast of BC. Bringing a couple rounds of precip as we go on into early October for Western Washington and Oregon, but you can see, look at a lot of precip showing up there, some 30-plus inch totals as we go through mid-October, and eventually we'll get going here a bit across some of the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, kind of an interesting signal there. This is the 6 to 10 day above average possibility for temperatures here as we go through September 18th. And this is precipitation probability as well, below average signal here. So yeah, nice. Get out and enjoy that ridge here. And we could build something similar here for next weekend as well. So enjoy these weekends because you know what's coming when the fall and winter months roll around here. We're going to cool down quite a bit, of course, and you're going to kind of be dreaming of these weekends here. So yeah, anyway, we'll watch this system roll in here. Hopefully we can squeeze a little bit of precip across the area out of this, because looking back at the past months, we were really dry here across Pacific Northwest for many areas. And, you know, the drought is starting to set in here. And if we don't start to bring these rains here shortly, you know, that's going to continue that drought as we go on in through the fall months here. But hopefully we can put an end to that as we go through winter. We'll see how that goes. And just a reminder, excuse me, I'm going to be doing an El Nino video here coming up probably on Monday or Tuesday as we get some new data, and I'll do what kind of impacts it usually has here on the Pacific Northwest. So stay tuned for that here over the next few days also, and I'll be doing my daily briefings as always. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.